Ain't no man can save me. Listening to the Avett Brothers. Ain't no man. Love those guys. The buddy whose house I'm staying at right now introduced me to them 4 or 5 years ago. This is the house. He lives in Boulder. He's one of those big brain space guys. And basically he stays on his computer all day designing spaceship shit. And I sit in his kitchen or wherever and think of my next vision quest and how I'm doing the next things. I tend to land here after a vision quest. I think because I love Boulder. I love high desert towns like Bisbee, Boulder. There's just something about the mountains and being up in that high desert air that refills my soul and heals me. Balances me back out. I definitely needed that after the last vision quest. With the plague and everything going on last year, we were all terrified. I think we still are. I think we're coming to a balance, but it's not going to be easy. And for me, I had to take off into the car because the woman who I was madly in love with, still love her dearly. We just can't be together. Her and her son, her teenage son, and I did not get along. And then asking us to stay together in a house during the plague, it just broke. It is what it is. But I had to climb in the car. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's the plague. Everybody had circled their wagons, and I don't belong to anything really. I just did the bounce around bohemian thing for, what, 4 years, give or take? And I was in the car, and I went, fuck, I can't even go to like a truck stop because everybody was just like, you need to go away, you know. We were, that's 2020 for me. So what happened was my uncle, very private person, has private land, let me stay. He threw up a tent and one of those tent hammock things, and I had a fire. And my uncle goes, Dana, there's a storm coming. It's going to be happening for about a week. So, and I went, Robin, don't worry about it. Thank you. Because he was even doing the social distance thing. He set everything up for me, and then he went up to his home, and I was out in the middle of the woods by a creek. And they would just come down and give me water or whatever. I was on my own. And I was very happy to be, because I didn't know what the fuck to do. And in true storyteller Dana form, that night a fucking storm came in. And at first I was like, well, I'll just sleep in the tent and I'll chill out in that tent hammock. Which those things are awesome, and you'll find out why here in a second. So the rain came, and the tent filled up with water immediately. I was like, yeah, I figured that's gonna happen. So I was like, well, I'll just go and try and sleep in this tent hammock. And I had a 12-pack of beer, and I had plenty of weed, because the idea was I was going to get fucked up and restart the engine and find the next vision quest thing. So I'm in this hammock tent thing, and it's quite comfortable. But the storm was so bad, I am swinging that. But the thing is, the rain never officially came into the hammock. The wind was blowing me everywhere, and there was a little moisture. But that thing stayed up, and there were some seriously powerful storms that week. What would happen was the rain would stop, I'd go out and I'd get the fire going, and I got it built up enough that the fire never officially went out during all the rains. But then the rains would come in, and I'd get my coffee and my weed and beers, and I would just sit in that hammock and meditate and get really fucked up. And the storms just kept rocking me back and forth. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I bounced back out here to Colorado. And then I went, well, you know, because I was like, dude, I know there's a plague going on. Just let me come out here, regroup. I did that. And I went, well, I guess I need to go back to my hometown because it looks like we all need to just go back to where we came from because the shit's hitting the fan. And we're all going to be Red Dawn, Mad Max, Idiocracy. Every time I went home before, there was just too many memories and too many things I had to deal with. But I thought, you know, this time I'm going to do my best. I want to be part of the community. Even though I'm a batshit crazy fucking art dude, whatever. That last time I went home, I learned some very valuable things. One of them was I had to let go of the idea of the place where I went to high school and was my hometown back then. It's not my home now. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. I've mentioned this before. I'm still processing it. And I had to let something very big in my heart go. I'm a dreamer. I'm a romantic. This is what I do for a living. And part of me always wished that I could return back to the hometown I grew up in where you know everybody. Have a good home, fall in love, you know, and just be part of something. I've been gone too long. And the town's still a small town thing. You gotta deal with small town bullshit when you live in small towns. I know that sounds like a football cliche, stating the obvious, but it's true. That's one of the benefits of small towns is you do feel safe. But that safety comes because everybody's in everybody's fucking business all the time. I mean, it's insane. Especially during the plague and all that shit. And me being me, I listen to everything. When I go out into the world, I listen, I watch, because that's what I do. And when I share it with you all, I literally dump all those same emotions into the stories. It's like 3D. Sorry about that. And man, I felt like I took 10 steps back in healing. Because I did write about some very powerful, horrible stuff. And I let that part go. But the longer I stayed in my hometown, the more memories popped up. And, man, there were some serious triggers that happened. And I remember staying at a friend's house. I was sick as fuck from COVID. I was sick from opiate withdrawal because I couldn't. They were making things worse than they were helping with the fucking angry testicle shit, the fibros through the roof. I remember looking at my buddy going, man, I'm one sneeze away from going out in the field and just fucking taking a, I can't do this pain thing anymore. But he just kept hugging me and saying, dude, you got this, man, you're good. And I go, Buzz, his nickname's Buzz. I go, Buzz, if I get through this, man, all of this, I'm redoing things. I go, I can't stay here. I go, I've got a tribe and very close friends there that I love dearly, and I love going back and seeing. I go, but man, there's just too many of my demons here that they just keep recurring over and over and over. I go, it has nothing to do with anybody in the town. The town's just being itself. It's me. And I sat in the tub that night, drank a whole fucking bottle of vodka. Not a good idea. Don't do it that way. But I sweated that fever, both the opioid fever and the COVID shit, and I bounced back. But when I bounced back, I looked back at the fever nightmares I had and everything. And that's when I had to let some things go. But in doing that, I also found a balance inside of me again. That's hard to do, because you have to fight your subconscious. And you shouldn't fight your subconscious. You should listen to your subconscious. You should listen to yourself and the world around you. And that takes a lot to do. When you do it, life becomes easier for you. It may not become easier for people around you because they don't understand where you're at, because you keep trying to grow and be a better person than you are inside of you. And believe me, I've done some shit like everybody else. And my shit was usually from those fucking demons blacking me out. And I can't handle the pain, and I would black out. When I came to, that's a horrible, horrible feeling. To all of a sudden just go, I don't know where life was just now. And I try to look at the positive of everything. I met some wonderful people that I reconnected with in my hometown, and they're my tribe. They know I'm a nomad, and I bounce around to find Vision Quest and keep exploring things that nobody else does. But I learned how to deal with the serious triggers and the serious demons inside of me, because they almost took me down in my hometown. But now, I'm good. Calm's in. When I think about the past, the things I wrote about in the story, and I have to keep telling them because that's what I do for a living, yeah, there's a little darkness. I mean, you can see it in my face when I talk. Some people take a step back because sometimes the looks I have are very scary. But it's there, but it's not feeding on me. And it took going back and taking a mental fucking beating to learn that. And sometimes those trial by fire tests and those kinds of thumpings, are the things that heal you. That will probably never be. My hometown where I grew up will never be my home. I don't know where my home is yet. And a part of me loves that because I am used to the constant moving and the constant flow of energy. Y'all that read my books or hear my stories know we were pretty much gypsies for me and my mom when I was a kid, until I got back to my hometown at 10 years old. The contrast of those two things is really hard to deal with, but I do quite well. So whenever I do find a home, I will go back and visit my tribe. Where was I going with all of this? I don't know. But I know talking to you guys, I feel better. I can go back to writing some stories that may feel a little bit too... Or write that love story I always write that's unattainable. Somebody who's in a dark place may read one of my stories, and it helps them out of their hole. Somebody who's a hapless romantic and believes they'll never find love again, maybe the erotic, romantic stuff I write will help them. I don't know. I do it because it helps me heal. And I do it good enough that I make a living out of it. It's a good balance to have. All right, 14 minutes. If you all listen to this for 14 minutes, that's impressive. All right. I'll do some kooky stuff later. Maybe, I don't know what. Maybe Scooter McGee will show up or something. Y'all have a great day. Keep searching for the music between the music. Keep trying to find the notes between the notes. Ciao, Bella.